And in those days there were giants in the land, and the sons of the angels of God looked upon the daughters of men and found them fair, and took of them wives, and their sons became of old great men of renown. So they have been mixing with us on a genetic level since the time of Enoch and Ezekiel's will.
Hello brothers and sisters, I am Bob and this is Genesis Cipher. Welcome brothers and sisters to the Lord's device. This is a look, brothers and sisters, at the devices of the Lord and the devices of the wicked ones. For one, brothers and sisters, the Lord does have His devices, but God is a God of the living. His devices are living in themselves. You will see, brothers and sisters, in Ezekiel chapter 1, the wheel within a wheel had eyes. It was made of beryl, and the beings that were in them, the cherubim, their spirit moved. The device moved with the spirit that was inside the wheel within the wheel. You will see when the Lord comes in His throne, brothers and sisters, Ezekiel, seeing that there was a firmament like glass and the Lord was on His throne, there was the appearance of a man who was sitting on the throne, the glory. He seen the glory, brothers and sisters. He seen the glory of the Lord, and of course he bowed his face to the ground. Oh, brothers and sisters, how is it that a believer cannot look and see that all the evidence that we have of UFOs, of unidentified flying objects, and not see that they are the workings of the wicked ones? They have their devices as well, brothers and sisters. Satan cannot make up his own. He is a copycat. And of course, the Lord allows him to do these things because there's a purpose. There's a purpose involved. The Bible, the Lord has spoken in His Word that beings from other worlds was going to come to deceive us. You will look at aliens, extraterrestrials, celestial. Look at the definitions of these. Don't just go by what has been programmed by you and what you see in Hollywood and stuff, but look at the very definition of extraterrestrial. It is outer worldly. You will see that the angels, brothers and sisters, the host of heaven, even the fallen angels, are from another place and not made of the dust of the earth like man and beast. These are beings, brothers and sisters, from other world. And of course you cannot put the Lord Himself in the definition of extraterrestrial, because the definition of extraterrestrial is something that's not of this world, not of the earth, but something that is opposed, or something that is mentioned of space or of outer space, but the Lord is even beyond that. So you cannot put the Lord in Himself as an extraterrestrial being, because the Lord is even above the heaven of heavens. So He is the most high God. He is. What does the Lord say to Moses? I am. He is and always will be. So, brothers and sisters, even the Lord Himself cannot be of this definition of extraterrestrial. That's why some pastors and stuff like that, when they see people who try to define the Lord in a sense of maybe of some sort of extraterrestrial being from another world, no, He's not from another world. He's not from anywhere. He might be in another place. You could say maybe a dimension. You will see that the space, heaven itself, can be rolled up like a scroll, or basically opened up like a garment. The fabric of space itself. Lord has this power. But let's focus on the Lord's devices for a minute. God is a God of living. He has all things at His holy fingertips. And all principalities and powers are subjected to Him. Look at the angels. In my study of the Bible, I see, brothers and sisters, that there are 4 different kinds of angels. I know many people will say, well, there's this kind of angel and that kind of angel. But what I see in my studies, you have the princes, which are the archangel, chief princes. Look it up in Daniel. The archangel. Then you have the watcher. These are angelic beings. They're in the form of in a manly form. Then you have the beasts, the seraphim, which is a fiery serpent. These are winged beasts. And then you have the cherubim, which have 4 heads and 4 wings. Those are winged beasts. You have some of these, some of these people that put wings on the archangels, or put wings on the watcher. This is false. This is false. The winged beasts are the cherubim and the seraphim, the angelic beings that are in a form of a beast. In my search in the Bible, I have yet to see where wings would be on an archangel or on a watcher. Now, as far as the Lord's devices, He does not need to he doesn't need some propelled object. He doesn't need some motorized vehicle like what a man would have to make, or an angelic being a fallen angel would have to make. No, the Lord's devices are living, because He is a God of the living. And you will see, like the wheel within a wheel that was made a barrel. If you see barrel, brothers and sisters, it is a gem, and it moved like lightning. The cherubim had to ride inside this. Yes, he's a winged beast, but inside the wheel within a wheel, he could move. And plus, what was he doing, brothers and sisters? Well, if you notice, when the appearance of the cherubim came with the wheel within a wheel, above him was the Lord's throne. Now, you could say, well, they was carrying the Lord's throne. They could. Very well. They could have been carrying the Lord's throne. Or, on the other hand, the Lord could have been carrying them, and just gave Ezekiel this vision of the cherubim angel and the device that they were riding in. And for lack of a better word, the Lord has His UFOs, but they are not what we would perceive. Man thinks that a UFO has to be a metallic object or a flying saucer. No, the definition of a UFO is unidentified flying object. But Ezekiel identified the object of what he's seen. Didn't he? It came from the Lord. So, maybe it could be false of what I say that the Lord has his UFOs. Maybe we need to look at this a little deeper. And this is why I call this the Lord's device. Because they are devices, and they are identified. They are by the Lord himself. Look at the chariot of fire. The one that came and got Elijah. Could this be a device? Well, the chariot of fire, they seen horses. And, of course, obviously, Elijah in Elisha, the one who eventually took the robe from Elijah, and thus Elisha carried on the prophetic word of the Lord. But it was a flying object, wasn't it? Yes, it was recognized and identified as a flying chariot, and many would subject us to criticism, saying, well, this, it could be that. But it was still a living object in itself, wasn't it? What was propelling the chariot? The horses were propelling the chariot. This shows you again, brothers and sisters, that the Lord, the God of the living, has his devices, and they are living in themselves. And all is given by the Lord. All power of whatever is given by the Lord. The cherubim, the seraphim. But this is interesting, brothers and sisters, because another focus that I would like to focus on is to show you that the Lord has warned us and told us that beings from other worlds was going to come to deceive us. And what are these beings from other worlds? Well, the fallen angels are beings from other worlds. They're not made of the dust of the earth. They are made somewhere else. You would have to say that they was probably even made in another dimension. They were created beings, but what were they created from? Well, if man was made from the dust, were these beings made from another world, from another, from dust from somewhere else in another dimension? It's possible. This is only my own opinion when I come to this point. But I will say, and it's not opinionated, is what the Scriptures tells us. That the angels and the angelic beings were not made of the earth and the dust of the earth. That is scriptural. And there's no debating that. That they are beings from other worlds. I am Bob, and this is Genesis Cypher.
Sing the signs from Ezekiel's wheel. When the skies unfold like scrolls and the breaking of seals, heed the warning. The message is clear, heed the warning. The time draws near. See the signs from Ezekiel's wheel. When the skies unfold like scrolls and the breaking of seals, heed the warning. The message is clear, heed the warning. The time draws near.